We're an independent boarding school. We've been here for about 100 years. We have almost 680 students. They come from all over the world. This is a real privilege to have this kind of an education, and it's about more than just the student. It's really about giving back to society. So Nat Follansbee is our Associate Head for External Relations, and I've been at the school for 10 years. I think Nat has worked with me in that capacity for the past 7 years. But before that, he really started at the school much, much longer ago, many years, over 30. Nat isn't an alum, but I don't think most people know that. He began very much as the quintessential boarding school triple threat faculty member. He lived in a dormitory, he taught English, he coached tennis and other sports, and we'll go on the road and we will meet hundreds of alumni. It's become a joke because most of them he taught freshman English to.
After roughly a decade in the classroom, he moved into the development field and has made incredible contributions not only to Loomis Chaffee, but throughout our field of education. We had an opportunity to serve on the faculty together at the Case Summer Institute for Independent Schools for roughly a decade. It is a week-long conference for those that are new to independent schools and new to development. One of the things that I really always admired about Nat, he would spend every free minute connecting with advisees. So we would always have a group of participants that each of the faculty members was responsible for mentoring throughout the week. And inevitably, Nat would get up very early in the morning and he'd be meeting one of his advisees for coffee in town. It was always amazing because he would come back and he'd have a story to tell. You know, he could tell you everything about that person. He could tell you about their experience, the school that they came from, their background. When you sit and have a conversation with him, it often feels like you're doing 90% of the talking because he's just such a great listener. And he's tremendous at bringing out what you have to offer. And then he has this way of imparting little nuggets in a very subtle, in a very nuanced way, challenging you and of bringing in ideas that are really geared at helping you understand what it means to be an effective leader and to be an effective educator.
When I became head of school, I had a lot of experience in a lot of different positions, but I had never been a fundraiser. He's really taught me the job of fundraising. Nat is fearless in his willingness to take the conversation where it needs to go and to ask, to make the big asks. He never backs down. And of course, that's what you need. And I think people respect the way that he does it. It's never about just raising money for the sake of money. It's always about what the school does in the lives of students. He talks about these concentric circles and the fact that oftentimes people sort of leave a school and they might not feel as connected, and that it's our job to keep those people as connected as possible and as close to the inner circle of the school as possible. So we were phenomenally successful with our campaign. We tried to raise $100 million because $100 million for the centenary, but in fact we raised $130 million. He builds those relationships and he stays in touch with people and he goes back to them and he works out the questions, and he's never afraid to do that business and does it remarkably well. And so that last $30 million that we raised, that's Nat. And I don't think he's interested in people because of the job. I think he's successful at the job because he's so interested in people.
I would not be headmaster of St. Mark's School of Texas had I not been mentored by Nat. He's the penultimate recipient of the Robert Bell Crow Award. He's given extraordinary service to Case. He's spent well over 3 decades at one school, and that school has thrived as a result of his leadership. And he's been devoted to the advancement of so many other careers like mine. And so it's just really gratifying to see him recognized in this way. Really, really gratifying.